Hello everybody, this is Tim again here with another movie review, this time for Venom 2, Let There Be Carnage. Now, the first Venom movie, when I did a review for it, it's pretty much split people who watched it, but it did really well box office wise. The mainstream audience enjoyed the flick. I personally gave it a 3.5 out of 4. I thought it was a pretty good, enjoyable, fun time. I watched it again before this one. I don't like it as much as I did the first time, but I still enjoyed it. I would give it a solid 3 out of 4. I thought it was a good time. This one, same rating. I would give it a solid 3 out of 4. I think if you like the first flick, I see no reason you won't like this flick. Now, this is part of the Sony Marvel spin-off Spider-Man film universe that they're doing with Morbius up next and then Kraven the Hunter, the movie. Um, both this movie and the last Venom movie, they both feel like 90s superhero films, and that's the way the Morbius trailer with Jared Leto feels too, which I'm also excited for that one. I've always liked the Morbius character, even though he's more of a D-list character. Hopefully the movie will bring him up more to the forefront, but that is a character I do like from the Spider-Man animated series, and I think he can work. I think Jared Leto is good casting for that character. He has the right look. Um, in terms of these two Venom movies, these are both like silly B movie comic book 90s feeling flicks. If you are not into that, you are not going to enjoy these movies. If you want something more like what comic movies are made more as nowadays, you probably won't be a fan of these. These are more just both just action comedy B flicks with a anti-hero funny Venom character. That's really it. And Tom Hardy does a great job as the comedy. That's really what these are, and I can accept that. I can. I can enjoy these for what they are. I think both of these movies are fun. Woody Harrelson here plays Carnage. He does a great job. I will say this: the writing in that first movie, it had more going on story wise. It felt like it had more going on because of the origin and everything, and even the villain's plot, despite the villain being bad. That first one felt like he had more going on. Um, like there's more story to that first one, so you like feel more oomph to it when you watch it. I think it feels more I guess impactful maybe is the word. It feels more fulfilling story wise. But with this one, they dial back on the story and just focus more on the fun, which probably is for the best for this series. Which I'm not complaining about. But at the same time, though, I think the first one is better written because there's more going on and more of a plot. I think this one is funner, though. I will say right off the bat, I enjoyed this one slightly more than Venom 1. Slightly more, not by a big lot. And I will say part of that reason is Woody Harrelson. I like Woody Harrelson. I've always liked Woody Harrelson since Cheers. I liked him in Natural Born Killers, Zombieland, all that stuff. He's great. He's great as Carnage. I thought he was hilarious here. I will say this movie probably would have been better as rated R because they would have been able to do more. But with him here as Carnage, he's a blast. He's funnier than shit. He had me laughing. He just said Carnage in the comics supposed to be like completely batshit insane. And every time Woody Harrelson is on screen, he just says random crazy stuff that makes no sense at all. He bites Eddie Brock or whatever Tom Hardy's hand, and like Venom's symbiote or whatever that's fused with Tom Hardy, like infects his bloodstream and makes him turn into a red version, of a Venom. Basically, he's Carnage. But the design is altered enough to where it looks like the comics. I appreciate that they made it look like the comics. And Woody Harrelson has like this girlfriend in the film named Siren, like this black chick who's kind of hot, and he wants to break out of jail once he turns into Carnage, and he does when he's getting ready to be executed. He does this cool like tornado move, which I believe maybe in some of the video games, and I think it's in the comics, and it's really cool. And he pretty much kills like most of the people at the maximum security prison. He breaks out, he goes after his woman. Like I said, though, this one's much more light on story. It's more about just having fun. It's definitely a B movie, just like that first one, even more so maybe than that first one. And Woody Harrelson goes like break out his girlfriend named Siren, who is like she's just pretty much a metahuman. She has a super scream. They're trying to redo Natural Born Killers with Juliette Lewis and Woody Harrelson, except here it's this black chick. Um, they had good chemistry. I like them as a couple. I don't think the characters really needed. Like she could have been took out of the film, and I don't really think it would have made a difference. You could have just had Carnage by himself. But at the same time, I liked the fact that they did give him a woman like Natural Born Killers because I like that movie, and it's neat, having her here. I thought they had good chemistry together. I think there could have been maybe a little bit more done with their relationship though, but and there's not like a big like epic into the world plan here with Carnage. He just wants to get his woman, get some personal vengeance for her and himself on people that's done him wrong and people that's he wants to take out to make sure they can't stop him like Venom. And you got Michelle Williams back in here. She's much less in this one than she was the first one. And she's going to marry the dude that she hooked up with after Eddie in the first film. And they pretty much also put it to you that her and Eddie Brock are not going to end up back together. Like they go away from that where that could have went. Because I think they did it to try to avoid a cliche. Maybe they'll change their minds down the road in a future sequel, but here though it does feel like they're trying to avoid that. Even because you would expect Carnage is probably going to kill like her new man, and that's what's going to cause her and Eddie to end up back together. But they don't do that. He actually like helps out Venom and everybody at the end by putting setting Carnage on fire and stuff. And Carnage like whoops Venom's ass the whole movie till pretty much the climax when they're finally able to like become more symbiotic with each other, Venom and Eddie, because they have a big breakup in the movie. And Carnage and Cletus Cassidy, um, Woody Harrelson's character, they can't like combine together as well. They're not as symbiotic as Venom and Eddie, so that's what gives Venom the advantage over him. And when Venom kills Woody Harrelson at the end, I was dying of laughter because they use like their one PG-13 F word, and it is hilarious. When he picks up Woody Harrelson just says crazy stuff in the whole movie, just like to troll Tom Hardy and because he's insane. And he just looks at him like, Eddie, I gotta confess, all I ever really wanted was to be your brother. And then Venom goes, fuck this guy, and just like bites his head off. That was funny. I was a little disappointed though that they killed Carnage, but because he's like Venom's biggest villain, that's gonna be hard to top. But I think they might be able to do it with the direction of the bonus scene that they show in this movie. But yeah, but then again, they can always bring Carnage back. There's always a loophole in the comic book world. They've killed characters in those MCU movies like 1,000 times, and I like those movies, but they just keep coming back. It doesn't matter. They can always figure something out. But I also like by the end of the movie though how Venom keeps wanting to be called Lethal Protector. He wants to be like a superhero, anti-hero type character, and Lethal Protector is like the name of one of the comics Venom was in. And by the end, they decide to like go on the run or whatever, and they're like hiding out on the beach, and they're pretty much going to be a superhero now. And the bonus scene is like him getting transported to an alternate dimension, and he's in like the MCU world, and he sees Spider-Man on TV, which is what Tom Holland's version, of course, because they're going to bring him into the MCU. So I'm guessing that that bonus scene is going to like be a link up with what happens in Spider-Man Far From Home, like how they messed up that spell and everything with Doctor Strange that we see in the trailer, I believe. And that's going to cause all these universes to like collapse together and characters from alternate worlds to show up together. And I'm guessing that's probably how Tom Hardy gets brought in, but he won't be in like Far From Home. He might be in like a bonus scene at the end or something to set up for what's going to be actually Venom 3. Venom 3, I'm guessing, is going to be like a team-up movie with him and Tom Holland and Spider-Man, and it's going to be like a buddy flick or whatever, where they're going on some random adventure. That's the only. I think that's probably the correct path for how they're going to one up Carnage, because Carnage is, like I said, Venom's biggest bad guy. So doing a Spider-Man Venom team up seems like the natural progression. And I also figure that's probably where Venom is going to get the idea to do the white spider thing in his chest, and we're finally going to get that like the comics. So that's cool. At the same time, though, I have no idea what they're going to do for the plot for that. Like, who is going to be powerful enough to take on Spider-Man and Venom? I have no idea who they're going to use. I'm not an expert enough on all the other like Venom villain characters. As far as I know, Carnage is like the biggest. It's going to be interesting to see who they can use for that. But yeah, pretty much what we're going to get is a buddy flick. I'm pretty 99% sure we're going to get a buddy flick for Venom 3 between Spider-Man and Venom. Yeah, all in all, I'd give the movie a solid 3 out of 4. Woody Harrelson was great. He was really funny. This is a comedy action B movie that just happens to star Venom, just like the first one. These movies are both nearly equal in quality. The first one I think is, like I said, slightly stronger in terms of scripting, but I had a little bit more fun with this one just because of the presence of Woody Harrelson. So yeah, all in all, I'd give it a 3 out of 4. If you like the first one, I see no reason whatsoever you want to enjoy this one. Like, no reason. I will say this, though. This movie does feel a little rushed. It's a little too short. I had a similar problem with the first one. Like, both these movies feel like they've had certain things cut out of them. Like, they probably could release, like, Venom extended cuts of both these flicks. And, honestly, they both made a crap load of money, so why not? But, yeah, all in all, I'd give both, watching them again now, solid 3 out of 4. Both enjoyable flicks. For what they are. If you like the way I've described this movie, if it sounds like something you're into, you'll enjoy this. If you like the first one, you will enjoy this. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you again.